In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I built this $25,000 sales engine using Replit Agent 4. And I'm going to show you through the full build, the front end, the back end, the prompts that I utilize to build everything, and the ongoing bug fixes prompts that I use. I've also created a prompts library that you can access in the description. And at any point throughout the tutorial, if you're impressed and you want to start using Replit, there's also a link to join. So let's dive in. Okay, so here's the sales engine. You may think this is just a website, but it isn't. Previously, I was spending $24,000 a year on many tools, including Linktree, Calendly, Webflow, and so many more, which I actually detail in my build story, to help me qualify leads, book them, close deals, provide resources. And I was able to do this with Replit Agent 4. There are several key components to this site, which I'm going to walk you through today, and then we'll dive into the actual Replit Agent 4 interface, and we'll do a couple of bug fixes so you can see how I prompt, and I'll show you how to access and utilize the prompt library, which is in the description. So first of all, this is the front end. This is what actually generates the inbound leads, and this is what the customers can see. So I trained Replit on my LinkedIn profile and my business. I uploaded all of my sales decks, services, absolutely everything, so I could really educate it on who I am and what I do. And it then just pretty much auto-populated everything. I made some very small tweaks, like changing the color of these icons over here. I made sure all the numbers and everything was correct. I highlighted this tab. I gave a screenshot from my Shield analytics so I could include this in the specific graphic over here. I uploaded my own image. Obviously, it couldn't pull that off the internet. And then it's got automatically, it was able to pull off from the resources that I provided it, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my Instagram, my YouTube, and if you click it, it will open it up for you directly. Now, one thing that I recently did is I fully optimized my sales engine for SEO and AGO. What Replit did to ensure that that's possible, and I do eventually become a #1 positioned source for anything related to my products and services, AI creators, AI consultant, AI implementation, anything like that, was it built specific pages, which I still can't believe it did by itself. It built articles for me, which are filled with backlinks. They're SEO, MAGO optimized, and it used all the knowledge that I've given it in terms of my posts for LinkedIn, previous videos I've done on YouTube. It grabbed the transcripts of that, and also just general information about the stuff that I'm talking on. And it wrote these articles within the Replit Agent 4 prompt chat by itself, which it was about 85% accurate. I had to go in there and make some tweaks, but it wrote everything in the way that it did to be optimized for people searching for me. So I will be found by them, which was great. In addition to that, there was certain other tabs that I recommended that I build out, such as a press kit. Another one was my statistics and proof, and a tab for my sponsorships in terms of how people can partner with me on sponsored content. That's all really good, but one of my most favorite pages is the resource library. This is token gated, and this is how I actually collect the data of my prospects. Just to roll back really quickly, I create content every single day on the LinkedIn platform. It's my primary source of income. Either it's content that I create just for myself, or it's paid content from brands and businesses that I work with to promote their platforms. And my content performs incredibly well. One of the main formats of content that I create are lead magnet, engagement farming posts, where I provide a lot of value inside the actual post. And if an individual comments a specific trigger word, they'll receive a resource. Previously, they would have to go to my Linktree to be able to access that. I didn't have a full scope of analytics, even though you can buy a paid plan to be able to see your analytics in a lot more detail, but I didn't have a really good overview. So I decided to build my own resource library with Replit, which allowed me to save a couple $100 a year and cancel my Linktree subscription. So after someone gets access to my resource link, which is just zachnerris.com/resources, either through their own research or through the content that I just mentioned, they'll come to this resource library over here, and then they'll just enter in their details. You have to enter in everything because it's required. And they'll unlock the library. Once they're in the library, they'll get access to every single bit of free content, video tutorials, step-by-step guides, workflows, absolutely everything that I've put together either through collaborations with clients or for myself, or materials that I specifically build for customers, but then I go ahead and I turn it into a template which I can provide to the general public. Now, the really nice thing about this is I have a backend for the sales engine that I've built that I'll not only be able to see the individual that has gone and they have signed up for my resource library, which is free, it's just collecting their data, but I can also see each of the resources that they click on, and I get a full breakdown of how many clicks and what resources they've had access to. This allows me to customize the line of messaging and the outreach that I conduct to that individual. And I just think it's one of the most craziest things that I've built until I built Zalendly. Just like Linktree, I was spending hundreds of dollars a year on Calendly. And again, I didn't own the data. And as we move forward into this great world of AI, it's more important now than ever that you really own the data. And I just really want to customize the booking experience. But most importantly, I didn't want to ever potentially leave any gaps in the booking process. And when you direct someone to an external page when they're already on your site, so you're directing them to cal.com or Calendly for this matter, there's always a possibility that that lead may drop off. So I'm going to show you my own front end of my Zalendly and the back end of it as well and how it works. On pretty much every single page of the sales engine, and I'm just going to keep calling it a sales engine because it's definitely not a website, you'll see on the top right hand corner there's a book a call option. One of the places that I really like that it does get pushed quite a lot is on the creative partnerships page or the testimonials page right over here. When someone goes ahead and clicks on this, it's integrated with my calendar, my Gmail calendar, and I also built a mini app on Zoom Marketplace to make sure that calendar invites get sent to the individual with my Zoom link, which is great. So they'll go on schedule a call. You can see here Zalendly. I may actually change that to green. I'll go ahead and I'll book a meeting, and then it will qualify the lead. For any reason, if they don't hit certain thresholds, it is not going to send out a calendar invite. But most importantly, I get to review and approve every single booking that comes through. And I think for those individuals that have a very large presence on the internet and they randomly get calls booked in when their calendar is public, it's really annoying that you have to go through like your Google Calendar or emails, as a matter of fact, and just decide who you're actually going to have a meeting with, especially for meetings that you didn't previously agree to. So I'll show you a back end how I approve these. But yeah, they just go ahead, they answer all of these questions, and they confirm a booking. I will then receive an email to say you have a new booking request. Go ahead and approve this. And then I need to go ahead and go to my admin panel. I'm going to talk about the admin panel in a lot more detail shortly, but right now we're just going to focus on Zalendly. So here's the bookings tab. These are all the bookings that I have, right? I have the option to approve it. Where it says confirmed, it says there will be a tab over here that says approve. And once it's approved, I have the option to tweak these if I need to. But these are all the bookings that I've generated, predominantly from the resources, which is great. We're going to do a little bit of prompt work, and we're going to add a bin button over here so I can delete any bookings that I don't want, just like cluttering, for example, the test runs that I initially did. But if we have a look over here, this is a Zalendly interface. This is just like Calendly. It's fantastic. And remember, I did this with Replit Agent 4 just by prompting. I took my time to prompt and I built this wonderful engine. So these are all the different meeting types. I can create as many as I want. I don't have to upgrade my plan on Calendly to create more meeting types. My availability is connected and integrated to my Gmail calendar. Any dates, if I'm going to go on holiday and I'm going to block it off, I go ahead and I do that there. There's my Google integration, which is right here. Not going to click on the next tab because there's a lot of confidential information there, but that's my Zoom app that I integrated into my sales engine to make sure the links for Zoom and everything is populated automatically. So that's that. Let's have a look at my dashboard. In total, I've got 398 qualified leads. What I've done is I've trained it to only populate this statistic over here with leads that have clicked on a resource more than once, or if they clicked on book a meeting or the testimonials page, or even the services page. In total, out of those leads, this month alone, I've had 254, which is pretty impressive. But then I get an overview of my recent leads and any upcoming bookings that I have. If there's anything that I need to approve, it will tell me over here, you've got some pending bookings. So I know I'll go to bookings and I'll approve them or I will decline them. And just for me to just keep track of how many resources I have available, I put the statistic over there. Now, a more comprehensive analytics. This is awesome. This is based on my resources specifically. It lets me know what people are clicking on, which is absolutely insane. I think it's the most wildest thing that I've built out. Don't need to pay hundreds of dollars to Linktree or any other tool to be able to get these kind of analytics. I get to see which resources are performing the best. And if I've generated 398 meetings out of 22,000, which isn't the highest conversion, but is really minimal effort. I'm not running ads. I'm not specifically creating content to book meetings for myself. I'm just putting content out like I do every single day. And my sales engine, my website, is qualifying and closing deals for me. But that's not it. Take a look at my leads tab. I've got a very comprehensive filter over here that allows me to see out of all of my leads who is viewing what pages and what resources they've utilized. I can collect their name, their email address, a link to their company site, their profile for LinkedIn, whatever I request on the resources tab. And I can access each of these leads and I can click on a specific lead and see analytics in a lot more comprehensive view, which is absolutely insane. So where people will tend to ignore individuals that go ahead and download their lead magnets or their resources, I will specifically take my time, either via email or via LinkedIn, and send a message to this particular individual and ask them if they want any help with any of the resources that I can see that they've accessed. But that's not it, ladies and gentlemen. This is how I replace MailerLite. And I'm really, really, really proud of this. All my leads are owned in my database. I own it. So all the details, all the email addresses, everything is here. I've customized my own bulk emailer, which is integrated with Resend, an app that Replit recommended that I use. And I can send bulk email campaigns. And I also have automation on here. So that one specific automation that I've got running at the moment is that I've sent an email where I would want someone to reply with the word yes. If they do reply the word yes to that email, an automation will be triggered and they'll receive this link over here with this message, which is fantastic. Like, you don't need to split your business suite across 10, 20 different tools. You can literally build everything by yourself. In addition to the prompts library that you have access in the description below, there's one more super cool thing that I've built out with Replit that I have to show you. If you go to zachderis.com/build-story, I've given you access to, I'm wild for this, I've given you access to the full workflow of building out this exact sales engine And if you click on any card whatsoever, you can access the prompts that I've used, the exact prompt for every single page, every single internal app or engine that I have built, and what Replit did to be able to build it. I didn't even put together these prompts. I told Replit, go into the website, do a full analysis of absolutely everything, and then build a build story in this exact format so I can give people access to the individual prompts for everything that you've done. How you integrated Zoom, how you integrated Google Calendar, how you built the admin dashboard, how you do the automatic email marketing, like absolutely everything. So you're welcome. Enjoy. And please do comment after you've gone ahead and you've built your own version of the sales engine. Please do comment it below so I can see the amazing stuff that you've built with my prompts. Like, that will make me really happy. As a thank you for watching this video tutorial today, you can go to my resource library, click sign up to Replit and get $10 free so you can start building your very own sales engines. Once you've signed up to Replit, you'll be able to see there's a prompter. It will be the very first thing that you see. You don't need to navigate anywhere specifically to access Agent 4 because it is built in. So you can go ahead and click any of these icons over here if you want to build a design, an animation, a spreadsheet, a site, a mobile app, whatever you want. In my particular case, I just pasted in my prompt here and I just started working. If you do want to use Replit like a Claude or a ChatGPT, just to strategize, click plan. That's all you need to do. You're going to start talking to it as if it is an LLM, and you'll start ideating and from a creative perspective, start strategizing exactly what you want to build out, which is fantastic. Now, let's take a look at this. I just did this 15 minutes ago, just before I jumped on to show you exactly what the process is. You have access to the prompts library, which is in the description below, for the full prompts that I utilized, which was this exact prompt. You're building a premium site for my company, which is this. This is everything that I offer. It shouldn't be like this, yada, yada, yada. It was just an MD file that I just copy pasted, put it in there. It didn't take too long. It probably took roughly around 20 minutes for it to generate this exact version of the site, which is pretty spot on. I did make one small iteration and I told it to go for a black and blue theme, which is on brand for me. In my case, I did give a reference image, which if you want to go for that exact theme, just take a screenshot of my site. You can use that for absolutely everything. If you want to make a site similar to Google, take a screenshot of the homepage of Google, just paste a screenshot in there and it will know exactly what to look for, what color codes and hexes to implement and so forth, which is pretty spot on. Whatever you want to change, you can just go ahead and you can prompt it in there. So for example, I'm going to be very detailed and I'm going to say, please change the, let me just go ahead and copy this button at the top of the home page to a Spotify green color outline and text. Make it glow and do this for all other similar labels. I want to make sure I call it a label and not a button, because then it will change all the buttons. Now, while that's being done, I can do something pretty cool. I can click this plus button over here and enter a parallel view. Parallel view allows you to go to navigate outside of the main version where you can see the purple square is currently working, and you can go ahead and complete whatever else you want. So for example, change the Roku call button to green on every page. So it's going to understand what it needs to do. You can see from the main version, it's already gone ahead. Let me just unhighlight that. And it's already performed the first task, even though I'm in a parallel view. First task has been done. And now it's going to start building out the knowledge it needs to create the new action that I've asked for, which is to change the book a call button to green. And it's going to ask me for confirmation in a minute. And then I will go ahead and confirm, and then it will be done. So I'm going to start building it. This is the task plan, which is really cool that it tells you this is the plan, what it needs to do. And within a matter of minutes, that's going to go ahead and be completed. Replit did exactly what I asked for. It changed the label over here to green and the booking icon. Now, something that's really cool about Replit is even though I have a project currently being run on a parallel view across multiple tasks, I can go to a completely different project and I can continue working off of that. So one of the things that I've got running on my main engine build at the moment is that I didn't like the fact that on my back end, I didn't have the ability to go ahead and delete a booking, especially those test runs that I did. So I just told Replit, go ahead and create a bin icon that allows me to delete any bookings on the admin panel. I did the same thing for email campaigns as well. And I'll show you exactly what it did. Okay, we're going to go back to the homepage for Replit. We're going to click on our site, our engine that we've built out, and we're going to go ahead and do 2 tasks today. We just put the preview mode up so you can see what we're working with. And the first thing that I want to do on the main version is I want to, on the backend panel for my emails, I should have the option in the history of emails, so the campaigns that I've sent, to delete an item or a campaign. Sometimes I'll do tests, so it's good to just like have everything super clean and tidy. So for example, there should be a bin button on the far right hand side next to the analytics column on each item. That's one thing I want to go ahead and do. I'm going to hit send, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy my next prompts that I wrote in preparation for this. I'm going to click new task. And once that's creating the bin on the backend panel for emails, I'm also going to create another bin option on the bookings. Because again, I initially did some test runs, so there's some bookings in there that I'm just not going to need whatsoever. So it's going to take its time, it's going to go for everything, and it's going to create those for me. And just like that, in less than a couple of minutes, both tasks have been completed. A bin delete icon has been created for the emails as well as for the bookings that have just come through, which is fantastic. I'm going to apply this to the main version to make sure it has been updated. And once that's been done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to publish this to make sure that it's live and the changes I've made are available on the live version of the engine. Let's have a look at what that looks like. I'm back inside my admin panel on the bookings tab, and you can see over here there is a trash bin icon, which is exactly what we created and what we asked for. So I can click that button, delete it, and just like that, it's been done. And I have an email notification to say this meeting has been cancelled, which is pretty smooth. I like that. We now officially have no excuse to build whatever we want using AI. Replit is the best place to start. It isn't just a design tool. You can do absolutely everything on it, from building agents, processes, apps, and even planning with Replit directly. Use the link below, start building stuff out, and comment below what you've built, or feel free to share your link. And if you want any direct support, I post about Replit every single week on my LinkedIn, so go check out that content. There are a couple resources below that you should also check out, which is the full build of how I built everything out, the prompts that I used to build out this exact engine, and there's a prompt library that I put together that you'll use on Claude specifically to build 7 really cool stuff. So go and check them out. Use Replit. It's phenomenal.